Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the largest build I've ever done or reviewed. We have the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. This thing is an absolute beast. We're going to go over all the good, the bad, and the ugly about this thing. But let's start with the box. Wait, there's no box. This is not a Lego. This is a AliExpress mimic of the same exact build of the Ultimate Collector Series from Lego, the Millennium Falcon. So this is my first review of something that's not even actually a Lego. Let's get into it. I'm going to show you this thing in 360 degrees, and we'll start off by talking about the good. And probably the biggest good out there is just how good this thing looks. So I'm going to turn it a little bit. I'm going to be checking the frames too, making sure everything looks good. I just popped a piece off, but that's okay. Yeah, that's a good angle right there. This thing is, okay, we're still sticking with good right now. So the looks of it is incredible. The size of it is incredible. I'm a pretty big dude, but this thing feels big. It also feels premium, you know. When I was a kid, if you ever got knockoff Legos, they always felt like they didn't click together very good. There was always some problem with those Legos, but these are just as good as the quality of Lego now. I mean, it's incredible how good these knockoff sets have become. The other good is the price tag. I got this one shipped to me from China, like shipping, tariffs, everything included, for $97. I think that is an incredible deal when you think about the Millennium Falcon from Lego being like $850 plus tax and everything. You're probably talking about a $900 plus set. I'm gonna keep turning this so we can get through the whole thing. Oh yes. And it's heavy. That weighs, I want to say that's another good thing about it. It weighs probably about 10 pounds. The box when it came in was just a dense box of Lego. All the way through here. Boom. Let's see if we got that in frame. We sure do. We're starting to see this backside. Super cool build. It took a long time. I can't say that's a bad thing because you know what you're getting into when you buy something like this. The Lego one also takes a long time to build. Trying to find positioning spots on it. There we go. So that nothing falls off. And there you can see how they did the engines with like these little straws, which maybe I can pick it up and show the camera. But it's a good look. It's something I wonder if Lego does a little better, or if they have a little bit better of a structure of their little straws that they put on there. That could be something they do better. Because these got a little crinkled, but otherwise it looks really cool. The illusion is there. We're almost done with our 360. And then I'm going to take you guys off the camera stand here, and I'm going to zoom around this a little bit. Nice. All the way through here. Boom. And let's find a nice centered spot for it, which will be like here. Perfect. Nice. So we're still on the good right now. And again, the size of it's probably the most striking thing. The detail, the level of detail. I'm going to take you off here. And anyone who gets sick from motion, I apologize. We're going to keep it as smooth as we can. But checking out all this detail on the ship. You can tell, like, this is actually a pistol. But they're just using it for, like, a decoration. Like maybe a gauge or something that's on the side of the Millennium Falcon. You've got this satellite dish that looks good. There is another one you can change it out for. I'll show you that in a second. All this detail. You can see the little guy, the little whatever creature tries to eat them whenever they're in the asteroid. In that big critter. And then, yeah, just more detail, more detail, more detail. Something you probably couldn't tell when I was turning it is that it does have landing gear, so it can actually support itself on a table or something like that. But let's be real, something this big and this fragile, you need to find a home for. It needs a shelf or it needs a flight stand, which this one did come with, and we'll talk about that here in a second. All right, let's start talking about the bad. And this is true for both this being a Chinese set and the actual Lego set that you're going to pay $900 for. The biggest bad on this is build techniques. For something that's an Ultimate Collector Series, this has some of the worst build techniques out of any set I've done in a long time. The big thing being, make sure I'm focused here, all these top shell pieces are not actually clicked into anything. They're just free-floating pieces. I'm going to show you. You pull up here, and this is the technique. You take a pin like that, and there's a hole right next to that red piece. Right, let me point to it. Right there, that hole, that black hole. You put that pin into the hole, and then that's how this is supposed to stick together, which is hard to do one-handed. Let's see if I can do it. And I did not. I failed. Let me see if I can get it with this, like this. There we go. Now I can see it. Pin drops in, and then you're sort of locked in place. For something as premium as $900 for a set, I need that thing secured. Not only that one, but that one and that one and that one. All of them need to be secured, right? And one of the bigger pieces, which is this little circle as the top, just comes right off. It's just on rails like this. I have a problem with that. It makes the durability of this thing awful, like super bad. But, you know, for the illusion, for the overall look, they did it. They got it. I do wish they would have worked on their building techniques a little bit more. So let's talk about more of this stuff that's not actually locked down. You can get inside of some of these, and you can see like the little chessboard and like the little kind of like living room area that they have down the Millennium Falcon. And there is another play feature where there's a cannon under here. Well, there is another cannon just in general, but there's another cannon that actually opens up and drops out. And I'm not even gonna touch it. It will literally fall apart if I start touching it too much. So I'm not gonna do that, sorry. But there is a little bit of an extra play feature. Why they even have a play feature on a set like this, I could not tell you. Because no one's gonna play with it. It's gonna go on a shelf. There's Han and Chewie in there. Okay, let's talk about more of the bad, because they reminded me it's the minifigures. Can't really tell on Han, he looks okay, but Chewie, he looks awful in there. That like gold paint instead of brown paint, it looks not good. And we have more examples of that. Like Finn. No, I might have to set this down and focus. And yep, let's do that. So let's set this down for a quick second and talk about these. We're here. Finn. There we go. I mean, the minifigures do their job, but you can tell more than anything that these are not Lego. You can see how he stands kind of even at a little tilt there. BB-8, I don't know. I think that's how Lego does their BB-8 too. He's staying down. This is like the young Han Solo, or maybe female Han Solo. I don't know. I'm not even sure who that's supposed to be. Maybe Leia. Maybe that's Leia's hair and that's Han's girl hair. I don't know. That's Rey. They're all falling down because they don't really stand that well. C-3PO, you could tell he's so like transparent. It's hard to explain unless you see him in person, but you can tell these minifigures. Oh, and then the Porg. If Lego does their Porgs like this, they should be refunding everybody for their entire set. But if this is what the Porgs look like in Lego, I don't know. I am going to look it up though, because this is a pitiful build of a Porg. Like, just give me a printed Porg, just like BB-8 here, but smaller as a Porg, you know? Anyways, the minifigures are bad. You have to snap on their legs, and like each leg one at a time, and that is tough. Anyways, minifigures, build techniques, those are probably my two biggest complaints about. Okay, so the build techniques are on just the Lego and the AliExpress one, but the minifigures are just for the AliExpress. If you got the Lego version, the minifigures would be just fine. But let's talk about the ugly. And if you've stuck around this long, that means you're interested in buying one of these. There's no reason that you've lasted this long in this video unless you think you're going to buy one of these from AliExpress. And the fact is, even though this is not a Lego, it is probably 15% actual Lego because I was missing a ton of parts. Almost every part that is longer than 16 dots in a row, so it's a lot of the internal structure. I didn't have any of them. Anything that was like a Technic piece or a Lego, just a long Lego, I just didn't have any of them. So I had to order a lot of pick-a-brick from Lego, got it shipped over, and then eventually got the build done, which also made the build take forever. So even though this only cost me about $97 to get it shipped from China, I probably have another $150 in just pick-a-brick bricks, which is tough. Like that's, you're getting this as a set and you get some momentum going. You've got, some time set out so that you can actually do this build. And then all of a sudden you don't have the piece and everything's just stuck. It's like, that's pretty tough. And I even built some of my own pieces out of other pieces because I have some bulk Lego. And I can even tell, looking right here, I put this long 16 piece together with a bunch of other individual Legos. And you can actually see it there. I didn't think you'd actually be able to see it, but just doing this review, I see that. I don't see any other things that I manufactured on my own here, but it is what it is. That's the ugly. The other thing is this came with a flight stand, right? And the flight stand, let me grab part of it, looks kind of like this. Well, it'd be like two of these plus some central connectors. But even that, I didn't get all the pieces for. I'm actually still waiting on that. And that'll turn this on its side without the feet, and it'll look pretty cool on its side. So other than the fact that they didn't give me all the pieces that I ordered with the set, this set was absolutely incredible. And I always wanted to do this, but I never wanted to pay, $900 for the Lego. By the way, this is the other satellite, so you can just pop this off. Is that easy to do? Yep, it is easy to do. And you can pop this on. I believe that's the dish that was on there during the Han Solo movie. Well, I can't get it on there, but I'm just going to let it rest. There it goes. So you can kind of see, you can change the look up there. And then, of course, you do get a placard, the Millennium Falcon. But man, these stickers are terrible. And I have dogs, so as soon as they touch dog hair, that's never going to work again. But it is the same as comes with the Ultimate Collector Lego, which is pretty cool. All right, let's talk about the final verdict on this thing. I am super happy I have this. Was a little bit of a pain to, first of all, get. You order about 3 months later, you get it. And then you have to start putting it together. Sorting the parts took forever. Part of the premium you pay Lego whenever you're paying your $900 for this same set is for individually bagged steps. And I know with the Lego build, like it's a lot of step ones, a lot of step twos. Like it's a lot of bags. You still have to sort them, but it's not like getting a big box of just brown, or a big brown box full of just Lego just everywhere with not a whole lot of rhyme or reason behind it. But that being said, you pay Lego a little bit more, and you know that if you're going through Lego, you're getting the Lego experience, right? They're gonna have a instruction manual that's really nice, and it's gonna have a little bit of information at the beginning. It's gonna show you some stuff like why or who the builder was and all that stuff. It's definitely a part of the experience. And the instructions are really clear. These instructions were pretty awful. Even though they're the same, they're a lot squished on one page, and it's sometimes a little blurry. So again, you're paying the Lego Premium for a reason. So final verdict, I'm happy I have this thing. But with everything going to get this, it is not for like your beginner builder for sure. If you've got a kid, let's say anyone under, I don't know, maybe a 15-year-old could get it. Let's say 15 or under, I would not touch this thing because they're not, maybe you can understand that they're missing pieces. They're not going to understand that you have to sometimes be creative in your own way to make the thing work, you know? There are some pieces, especially on the bottom down here, that just would not go together. So I had to create my own build technique just to make it go on here. And it was like these parts here. And you can tell how floppy they are too. Probably not the best thing to like have to make up on the fly. Overall, I'm happy I have it. It will stay in my collection forever. I don't care that it's not a Lego at all. That doesn't bother me one bit. Because now that I know about how poor Lego designed this thing, I would never pay $900 for the Ultimate Collectors. I might buy one just to keep the box sealed and see if it'll go up in price someday. But the actual build itself is not worth $900. You have to do better engineering than that for $900. So I'm happy I went this way. I'm going to give this whole build experience a 7.5 out of 10. That's because of just all the missing pieces. That was absolutely terrible. But the actual build itself, this thing sitting right here in front of me, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. This is like a kind of gemstone of a collection. Like, this looks so good as like the piece in the middle of a collection. So I'm really happy to have that. And this video has been long enough, so I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. But be careful if you're going to go out to the other places to buy these bricks and buy the instructions, and sometimes they're just a PDF. They don't even give you a paper instruction. This one did give me a paper instruction. Just be careful. You could definitely not get what you're looking for. And returns, like I had this thing, a quarter built, and it was the frame first, right? Frames built first. So I had this big thing, and I realized I was missing some of my first pieces that I was missing. And I reached out to them at AliExpress, and all they can really offer you is to return the product, which would mean me tearing down everything I already built. And I wasn't about that. So I did not send it back, even though they did offer me the refund if I were to send it back. I think I had too many hours in it already at that point. So I'm done rambling, guys. Stay tuned. I got more builds coming up. We actually have some really cool things coming out, and some of the new builds that were just released. I'm excited to get those out here soon. But this will be probably my last non-Lego, at least for a while. I need a little break from the different quality of bricks. Not that they're bad. They snap together well, but they do hurt your thumbs a little bit. So we need a little bit of a break from that, and then we'll maybe try one more of them in the future. Here's an overhead shot. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. This was the Ultimate Collectors Millennium Falcon via AliExpress.